Hello everyone, welcome to the module on the rights in the Indian Constitution. The introduction. A constitution is not only about the composition of various organs of the government and the relation among them. So constitution does not basically only deal with the composition, making of the institutions, the procedures will be laid down to make an institution, various organs that are to be set up in the government to establish the relationship among them. So constitution is not only about the composition or the various organs of the government and the relation among them. The constitution is a document that has set limits on the powers of the government and also ensures a democratic system in which all the persons enjoy certain rights. So apart from the composition of various organs of the government, the constitution also sets limits on the powers of the government. Now it also ensures a democratic system in which all persons enjoy certain rights. So the constitution is a document that sets the limitations on the powers of the government. How does constitution set the limitations on the powers of the government? The constitution sets limitations on the powers of the government by granting certain rights. Now these rights are given to all the individuals of the country, and the constitution also ensures that every person enjoys certain amount of rights, and that is called democratic system. A system which ensures equality for everyone. That is the basic objective of democratic system. Part 3 of the Indian Constitution has lists the fundamental rights and also mentions the limits of these rights. So in the Indian Constitution there are 12 parts. So Indian Constitution is actually divided into 12 parts. So in that, the third part, part 3, deals with the fundamental rights and also mentions the limitations of these fundamental rights. So we learn what is the Constitution's main objective apart from talking about the composition of various organs of government and also the relation between the different organs of government. It also sets the limitations on the powers of the government by ensuring a democratic system in which all persons enjoy certain rights. The Indian Constitution is being divided into 12 parts. So in part 3, you get the details of the Indian Constitution is being divided into 12 parts. So part 3 of the Indian Constitution talks about the fundamental rights and also mentions the limitations on these rights. Now let us look at the case study in order to understand the importance of rights. In 1982, there was a construction work for Asian Games that is being given by the government to engage few contractors to do the work. So the contractors have employed large number of people, especially the poor construction workers from different parts of the country for the purpose to build the flyovers and the stadiums. So to build the flyovers and the stadiums like this, the government has given few contractors the permission to do these activities. So the contractors employed a large number of poor construction workers from different parts of the country to build these flyovers and stadiums in order to conduct the Asian Games. Now these workers were kept in poor working conditions which were also paid very less than the minimum wages decided by the government. So, as per the government, there is a minimum wage that is fixed per daily wage labor. So, as per that, they have to do the payments. But here in this case, these workers were kept in poor living conditions and they were paid less than the minimum wages that has to be paid for them as per the government norms. So this incident happened in 1982. A team of social scientists who went there to study about the poor conditions which were there, and they made a petition to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court was asked in to look into the matter through the public interest litigation. So these social scientists observed the conditions where these workers were kept in poor living conditions, and also they were paid less. So there have been arguments against this case, and they argued that the employing person has to work for less than the minimum wage amount is nothing but equal to begar or forced labor, which is a clear violation of the fundamental right, that is, right against exploitation. So the court made its observations very clear, accepted this plea, and directed the government to ensure thousands of the workers will get the prescribed wage for their work. So in that way, this particular problem has been sorted, and thousands of workers can get their natural right payment for what work they were doing. So in this case, we saw how the fundamental right against exploitation is being violated. The thousands of workers are being made to work for less than the minimum prescribed wage, and they were kept in poor working conditions as well as living conditions. It is through the intervention of the social scientists who made observations on their poor working conditions, living conditions, and the payments what they were receiving were much less than the minimum prescribed wage amounts. So they filed a petition through public interest litigation to the Supreme Court, arguing that the employing a person less than the minimum prescribed wage is nothing but forcing that person to work like a beggar or a forced labor. The court accepted this plea, looked into the situation, looked at the evidences, and then gave its directives to the government, saying that government has to ensure the thousands of workers get the prescribed wage for their work. That's all we have in case 1. Stay tuned. We'll catch you in the next module.